last night. He's a good guy, a real good guy.
There has been a Gotsy race at Brownstown every year since 1967. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. All right, we're just about ready. Are you ready to give the command?
I am. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As he makes his way back across the racetrack, he can hear you down there, Brownstown. How about it for Ray Godsey? In Brownstown, as he comes across the track as well, how about it for the voice, your very own James Essex. All right, the drivers have been given the command to fire the engines. They're started. They still got one crew member, two crew members out there with them. Help make sure they get the head and neck restraints on, take the heat shield out of the cars. 100 laps tonight for 27 drivers in $50,000. A new Jackson 100 record on the line for the winner. This one pays $2,000 just to start here this evening. The drivers getting a little bit of heat in the engines. This track rework, they will be given a few laps, kind of blow this racetrack off, make sure that it is good to go before we barrel them off into turns 1 and 2. Huge crowd here this evening, Ben Shelton.
Hey, it's an amazing crowd, and kudos to all you fine folks. I know a lot of you had time off work, you had hotels, you had flights, you had everything else booked the first go around. And again, Hurricane Helene had different ideas, but you've come back in full force. Kudos to Jim Price and his staff, the richest event. And man, I tell you what, it's a big risk when you got a one-night $150,000 purse. Last night was a $50,000 purse. But I tell you what, DJ, standing down here, the history and seeing how adamant and how much these fans love racing, it makes it all worth it. And I think James Essex is probably going to be smiling for the next 3 months after being down here. And it was cool to watch him in his element at the place that he loves more than anywhere.
He told me, he said, man, he said, I'd love to do the driver intros on the racetrack. And I said, who am I to stand in the way of James Essex doing driver intros on the track, at the track that he built, Brownstown Speedway? Hey, listen, I know he's joined us back in the booth, by the way. You need a minute here to catch your breath, get the drink of water.
We need the concrete outside the front stretch because that mud was like quicksand. Hey, I would remiss without saying this race run in memory of a couple of drivers here. So important to Brownstown Speedway. Scott Bloomquist, the winningest Jackson 100 winner at 7 races, 13 overall, and then Don Hobbs. We lost him a few weeks ago. 26 career wins here. The 1969 track champion.
Absolutely. Absolutely, James. Drivers are backing out of their Le Mans style starting grid on the front straightaway. Very cool. Very, very cool. You had so much fun, didn't you? You had so much fun out there. And it is so dang
Ray Godsey.
Yes.
Warren
so cool.
Essex.
So cool to see you out there. I know. How about that, by the way?
Love the support. Jim Curry, Russ Petro, Ray Godsey, people like that man, they're the fabric of this racetrack, brother.
You aren't wrong there, and you are right there with them, my friend. And it's
then later John Gill, Don O'Neill, people like that. Simply incredible.
Yep. And that legacy lives on today with the with the Devin Gilpins of the world and drivers like that. Also, very, very cool to see.
I learned how to pause on a few of them. Remember, like when Scott Bloomquist would and I would do that at Eldora, and then for Bobby Pierce here and. Just pause for a moment just to build it up, right?
Yes, Ricky Thornton Jr.
Ricky Thornton Jr.
Hey, we were laughing up here. I could have sworn I heard like one person boo when Garrett Albers was. Who boos Garrett Albers? I mean, what is happening here?
What is wrong with this world? Right?
All
Baby
right.
Weston had to hear that.
I know. Hey, they're going to buzz the racetrack here for a couple laps. James, while they're doing that, let's take a look at the starting grid for the 45th running of the Jackson 100 presented by Summit.
On the Victory Fuel pole, it'll be Garrett Alberson looking for the biggest win of his career. He's out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And Mike Marlar, he's been close here before, but has never won it. He's out of Winfield, Tennessee in the 157.
A pair of previous winners make up row number 2. It's going to be Superman Jonathan Davenport on the inside. He's the 2015 champ. And on his outside in the 32, the 2018 winner of this race, the smooth operator, Bobby Pierce.
Tim McCready has 3 career wins here to Brownstown. All of them in Jackson 100 wins. He's out of Watertown, New York at 1. And the defending Jackson 100 winner, the 20 RT, out of Martinsville, Indiana, Ricky Thornton Jr.
Moving back to row 4 on the inside, Adam Stricker out of Batavia, Ohio. Makes the race for the first time in his career, and on his outside, Dennis Erb Jr. His best finish in this race was 5th back in 2005.
Row 5 will be Brandon Shepard. He's out of New Berlin, Illinois. And Devin Moran, the icebreaker winner here back in March. He's out of Dresden, Ohio.
A pair of rookies make up row 6. It's going to be Clay Harris and Drake Troutman.
Row number 7 looks this way. It'll be Jimmy Owens, 2-time winner of this race, and the 111 of Max Blair.
It's going to be Devin Gilpin in row 8. Dave Hess Jr. on his outside. Carson Ferguson and Dalton Wilson make up row 9. Row 10, Tanner English and Tristan Chamberlain. Row 11, Nick Hoffman and Matt Boatneck. Row 12, Hudson O'Neill will have to come, James, from the 23rd starting position. Ross Robinson in the 7. Then it'll be Boom Briggs, Brendan Smith, and Corey Lawler.
Oh, baby.
James,
Oh, baby.
I got to let you do it, brother.
4 wide, baby.
This is you.
Let's do it, man. The 3rd track in history in 1990 to go over 100 cars. It was Eldora, Pennsboro, and then Brownstown. One of the most historic tracks in dirt racing history. Come into turn 3. Everybody up on your feet at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. Your starting lineup for the Jackson 100 presented by Summit Racing Equipment. Well, track prep work, we've moved the Ute tires in. 100 laps here tonight. There was like 2 years in a row back in the 90s. We went back to back, never had a caution in this race. As you mentioned, you can come from anywhere to do it here tonight. Don't be surprised about Tanner English or even Hudson O'Neill.
That's right. Well,
coming up through there.
Speaking of that, Ben Shelton reporting live from the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit. Who will you be talking to in Lucas Oil Veland Products victory lane?
He shined bright in these big events this year. Bobby Pierce from outside of row 2 becomes a 2-time Jackson 100 champion.
There you have it, James Essex.
Red
Who are you
Horn.
rolling with?
Red Horn alert. 157 gets the win here tonight.
Wow. All right. I am going to go with a guy that won this race last year. He won here last night. I think the 20 RT of Ricky Thornton Jr. keeps that Kohler Motorsports 20 RT rolling and extends his point lead heading into Carl Schwartz Dirt Track World Championship. We're about to find out how right or wrong we are. James, this is the house that you built. Please, my friend, bring us to green.
Garrett Alberson, Mike Marlar, the Nutrient Ag Solutions start zone. 50,000 to win. The 45th Jackson 100. Dustin Jarrett is underway.
Oh, in trouble already down in turns 3 and 4. And Boom Briggs has gone around. And that will bring out a Dave Warren Power Sports caution flag before we even get one in. So we will line them back up and try it again. The 45th running of this historic race.
Single car caution. They go to the tail. If there's more than one involved, everybody gets their spot backs. Again, it'll be Delaware double file restart as long as the track stays raceable until 10 or less laps to go here tonight. Is Hudson O'Neill getting some work? And I'm not sure on the replay. I think, Tiffany, we do have a replay of what happened down there.
See if we can make heads or tails of what happened as they come off corner number 4. Boom's going to be near the tail. Yeah, you can see they all kind of bottled up. And it started about 4 or 5 rows in front of him, it looked like. They all just kind of got log jammed down there and boom, maybe hit the brakes to keep from getting into the back of someone. And that was also why Hudson O'Neill stopped. Someone had tagged him as well, and he may have had a little bit of damage on the left rear quarter panel of the SSI Motorsports entry.
So Thornton leads by 20 points, right? Over Moran, 25 over Davenport,
Yes.
right? He wants to stretch that out heading into next weekend, give him a little bit of a cushion, but we'll see what happens here. 50K, 150K just to be in this field here tonight out of turn 4, back underway at the New Tree Ag Solutions start zone.
Garrett Alberson, Mike Marlar, there's Jonathan Davenport. Marlar, see, that's where he got that good run last night, James, on the high side coming off turn number 2. We'll see if he can use that momentum to grab the lead at the end of lap number 1. He does. It's Mike Marlar, your race leader over Alberson, Pierce, Davenport, and Ricky Thornton Jr.
Can anybody stop Bobby Pierce? 34 wins. He's won the World 100 in the last month. He won it in Knoxville in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, but Mike Marlar leads here. He has 1 win this year. That was a long time ago, back earlier this season at the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
Take a few laps to blow the dust off this racetrack, and then it should clean off top to bottom here a little ways in. You heard a few of the drivers talking about it during the track prep break, saying how good they thought this racetrack was going to be. Bobby Pierce throws a slider on Garrett Alberson. He'll take the second spot momentarily. Alberson going to cross him back over down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. They go side by side for the second spot behind Mike Marlar. Bobby Pierce able to keep Garrett Alberson at bay for another lap.
Jonathan Davenport is 4th. Ricky Thornton Jr. is 5th. Tim McCready runs in 6th. Mike Marlar out in front in that Greg Bruning Skyline Motorsports car. The crossover for Pierce side by side into 1. Well, we do have a new leader. It's only official at the loop, and Bobby Pierce appears to have taken the lead in car 32.
Pierce clears Mike Marlar. Marlar going to try to drive back down under him in 3 and 4. Won't be able to do so. Officially a new leader on this lap ends Bobby Pierce. 6 laps into this race. Marlar 2nd, Alberson 3rd, Davenport 4th, Ricky Thornton Jr. 5th, Tim McCready 6th, Devin Moran 7th. Your championship 4 currently runs 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Bobby Pierce won a Sunday afternoon Jackson 100 here. Took the lead at the very end from Jonathan Davenport to deny him the victory.
What a race
Davenport
that was.
won his Jackson 100 driving for Kevin and Leroy Rumley. Off at turn 4, BP 32. 27 cars started. They're all still running. And in a couple more laps, DJ, he will pick up the tail end of the field, will be the Oakwood, Illinois driver.
You know, Bobby Pierce hasn't really, I know we're incredibly early in this race, but he didn't drive off from Mike Marlar once he got by him for the lead. That advantage has held steady at about 8 to 9 tenths of a second here over the course of the last couple laps. As the top 4 are all within the same half straightaway of each other right now. You're looking back on the battle for 5th. Ricky Thornton Jr. has it. Tim McCready trying to take it away.
Thing is smooth as glass, buddy. That quarter mile as it come out of turn number 2. Pierce will lead now. The lap car of Corey Lawler between 1st and 2nd. Meanwhile, Davenport starting the pressure. Alberson for 3rd. The 58 and the 49. Then it's Thornton. Then it's McCready. Then it's Devin Moran as we come off of turn number 4 with 11 laps complete.
Yeah, Mike Marlar right there. He's closed back in on your race leader, Bobby Pierce. There's the championship 4 graphic on the upper left side of the screen, denoting those drivers currently running 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on the racetrack. Right now, this one, though, still Bobby Pierce, 12 laps in, 88 laps to go here in the Jackson 100.
Now Garrett Alberson trying to pick up the pace there, trying to catch Marlar. Marlar right there, tries through the middle. Where he had a misstep last night, running for the lead here last night. Got 2 of the 4 wheels off the ground here last night down the back straightaway. There you see the deficit about 5 car lengths into turn 3. Off of turn 4, Pierce and Marlar both have led here in the Jackson 100.
Still 9 tenths of a second, the advantage for Bobby Pierce over Mike Marlar. Alberson remains in the 3rd spot, Davenport 4th, Ricky Thornton Jr. 5th. As you're looking back at battles on back through the field, they are 2 by 2 by 2 back there. That's about 10th place on back or so, James.
How about the rookies?
Yes.
Troutman running 9th, Clay Harris 11th.
Absolutely, rookies running solid here.
They're no longer a rookie this time of year, are they?
That's right. Hey, early candidate for the Todd Steele Buildings hard charger of the race, the 71 of Hudson O'Neill. He started 23rd, has worked his way up to 17th in this one. He has gained 6 spots in the first 16 laps of the Jackson 100.
By the way, Garrett Alberson starting to close again on Marlar. Davenport fourth, Thornton is fifth, and it's Moran, McCready, Dennis Erb Jr., Drake Troutman, Adam Stricker. Still the top 10. Meanwhile, down the back straightaway, here comes Mikey Marlar.
Mike Marlar trying to get a run on the inside of Bobby Pierce. Slides back up the racetrack as they work by Brendan Smith in the 17 SS. Pierce with a pair of lap cars, or a pair of cars about to go a lap down in front of him. Boone Briggs in the 99B and the 7 of Kent Robinson. Here's Mike Marlar again, challenging Bobby Pierce for the race lead off 4, James.
Plenty of racing room. They moved those tires down before the main event, completely redid the track. They scratched the surface, watered it. Good battle here in the Jackson 100 between Bobby Pierce and Mike Marlar. Garrett Alberson remains in third in 58. There you see Alberson coming into the shot. So we got the top 3, make it 4. Davenport fourth, all on the same straightaway out of turn number 2.
Yep, they're all right there together. Davenport just off your screen, as well as the 58 of Garrett Alberson. There's Alberson, there's Davenport, and the cameraman picked up about what I was going to say, James. Davenport started to run just a slightly different line around this racetrack. He's trying to follow in Mike Marlar's tire tracks on the outer groove over in turns 1 and 2 and over in 3 and 4.
Here starting to come back to the group. There you see them all together. The top 4. Thornton remains in 5th off of turn 4. Davenport to the outside of Alberson into turn number 1.
Good race.
JD to the outside, out at 2, down the back straightaway. Pierce in heavy traffic. There comes Marlar to the outside. Trying to get the lead back. It's still Bobby Pierce in front.
Remember that move Mike Marlar made last night where he split 2 cars coming off corner number 4. He's got to be thinking about that. They all might need to be thinking about the 49 right now. Jonathan Davenport has been the fastest driver on the track the last couple times around. The top 4 all right there together. Toss a blanket over them.
Why not add
Let's
5?
go.
Why not add the 5th car there? Ricky Thornton Jr.'s there in the shot. Out at turn number 2, trying to make it back-to-back in the Jackson 100. Bobby Pierce out in front still. Still a long way to go. 100 laps around this quarter-mile oval as they come out at turn number 2. Marlar there. Now he'll drift up the track, down the back straightaway. Davenport, heavy traffic for 3rd and 4th, and here comes Thornton on the bottom, DJ.
That's a battle for the 4th position with Ricky Thornton Jr. trying to take it away from Garrett Alberson. Jonathan Davenport trying to put his time in and work his way around the same back markers that Bobby Pierce and Mike Marlar had to do. Davenport unable to clear him, and that allows the 20 RT and the 58 to close back in on the 49. Highly entertaining racing here at Brownstown.
Yeah, they may go 3 wide here shortly for 3rd. Bobby Pierce, Mike Marlar. Down the back straightaway, there's Jonathan Davenport. Now Thornton on the inside of Garrett Alberson trying to get around him. Almost leaned on him, did not. Plenty of room for both drivers. They're side by side. Give Thornton the spot. So RTJ Dustin up to 4th. Now he'll get trapped behind the 7 of Ross Robinson.
Man, this is fun. We double it up for you at home, and these 2 battles happen basically right beside each other. If you look real close, you can see the one camera popping into the other camera screen. That's the lead duo on the left side of your screen, and that's the 3-car battle for 3rd on the right side of your screen. James will come around this time to complete 30 laps in the Jackson 100.
Ricky Thornton Jr., Garrett Alberson trying to catch Jonathan Davenport. Meanwhile, your leaders coming out at 2 as Marlar will clear the youngster Tristan Chamberlain. Down the back straightaway, it's about 5 car lengths, still the advantage for Bobby Pierce. Marlar back to the top shelf, Dustin, off of 4.
That's where I was going to say it's where he's been best, is up on the high side. Whenever he keeps that car really straight up on the top groove, there you see the distance between himself and Bobby Pierce, 0.6 of a second. Last time by at the scoring loop. Pierce committed to the bottom. Marlar going to be married to the top. They come off corner number 4. Pierce stays out front.
How about this? 3 distinct grooves here. They get around the 93 of Ferguson. Pierce will drift up in front of Carson. Down the back straightaway. Marlar now. He will have to get around the 93. Off at turn 4. Bobby Pierce still leads Marlar. Davenport, Thornton, Alberson remain your top 5.
Well, I know Marlar probably wanted to clear Ferguson there, but the nose of that race car was just pushing out a little too much. He will clear him coming off corner number 2. Ferguson going to try to drive back down to the inside. Bobby Pierce out front.
Marlar to the top shelf again.
Yes,
he's going to drive it right. He can drive that car anywhere. Bobby's been good. Mikey's been good. Davenport now in the shot there. The 3rd as he starts to close. It's still Thornton Alberson. The top 5. Mikey Marler. He'll drift it back to the top. Down the main straightaway. Still a little bit of gap between the rest of the tail end of the field down the back straightaway. And Davenport trying to reel in the 157.
So Jonathan Davenport currently third. Ricky Thornton Jr. is fourth. Devin Moran is sixth. Tim McCready seventh in your Big River Steel Championship 4 battle. And there's the driver that is in the middle of all of them, Garrett Albertson in the 58. There's Moran, currently running in the 6th position. And that Roger Sellers, number 99, behind him. Tim McCready in the Rocket 1, now trying to work his way around Moran on the outside. That is the battle for the 6th position. Behind them, it's Dennis Erb Jr. in the 28. You see him popping into your screen. DEJ currently runs in the 8th position. The 9th spot behind Dennis Erb Jr. That belongs to Drake Troutman. The black car making his way onto the screen. And rounding up the top 10 right now is Max Blair in the 111. James, you just saw someone get a little
bit slowing, but they stay green as he heads down the main straightaway. I believe that was Matt Bodnick, as he will go a lap down. Now Marler cuts that advantage down out of turn number 2. Matt Bodnick, 9-time modified track champion here at Brownstown. First time in the late model this year in 26 years. Now, we're about to have a battle here off of turn 4. Thornton trying to make a strong presence. There's Moran. There's McCready.
This is
this is going to go to the end.
This is going to be
stays green, right?
Dale McDowell game of angles, as
right.
he likes to call it. Corner entry, corner exit, both right now. As there's 39 laps, excuse me, there are 41 laps now in the books. There are 59 laps to go in this one. And Jonathan Davenport slowly reeling in that lead duo, James.
Matt Bodnick slips off the racetrack down here in turn number 4 in a former Kent Robinson-owned car. And he slows coming off of turn 4. We may have our first Dave Warren Power Sports caution of the race, and we do, Dustin Jarrett, for Matt Bodnick.
58 laps in the books. Matt Bodnick has slowed to a stop coming off turn number 4 here at Brownstown Speedway in Brownstown, Indiana. Our first caution flag of the event has fallen on lap number 42. Matt Bodnick there on your Speedway, slowed to a stop. I think he got out over the hill over in turn number 2 or off the back straightaway. And on the following lap, James, he slows right there, and you see him drifting out over the racetrack.
Trying to get his lap back. So Matt Bodnick, again in the former Kent Robinson-owned car. He started in late model. 1998 was his first year, and that was the only year, and he was co-rookie of the year. So Brandon Shepard and Ross Robinson of the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit, Ben Shelton.
That's right. They're looking into the right rear of both of those race cars right now. They've got right rear tires set to go on both of them, and they're also a shock adjustment is, hey, 58 laps remaining in this one. Now's the time to make a change. And those two cars down here, also Corey Lawler out of the race as well.
Thank you very much, Ben. So Bobby Pierce is your leader to be on the Delaware double file restart. Marler, he's been good low, bottom, middle.
Yeah.
What's he going to pick on Davenport, who's third? Then it's Thornton Alberson, Moran McCready. Carson Ferguson is 8th. Did he not? He won a B main, didn't he?
Yeah, he started 17th. He is the current Todd Steel Buildings hard charger of the race. Carson Ferguson is. So it looks like Mike Marler is going to choose the high side on this Delaware double file restart. That'll shuffle the 49 to the inside. The 20 RT will be on the outside, so on and so forth through the field. Again, worth noting that the championship 4 right now runs as follows. Jonathan Davenport is currently 3rd. Ricky Thornton Jr. is 4th. Devin Moran is 6th. And Tim McCready currently runs 7th. James, yellow lights have been turned off. Green flag is going to wave this time by. 42 laps in the books, 58 laps to go. Not so fast, my friend. Brandon Shepard going to make his way back out in the Shepard Riggs Racing Dude White's Real Tree B5. So is Tristan Chamberlain in the 20 TC. Ben?
Yeah, and blistered right rear on Brandon Shepard's B5. New right rear tire on that race car, and a new right rear on Ross Robinson's car as well.
Now remember Garrett Alberson in that race for that 5th spot in the championship points with O'Neill. Pierce and Marler don't care about the points, right? I mean, they don't care about these other guys running for points, for running for 200,000 here, right? They want to win this race, right?
Yes, I think so.
Nutridex Solutions restart zone.
Who doesn't?
Off at turn 4.
Who doesn't want $50,000?
Who doesn't, right? We'll take it.
Who wants to be a $50,000 heir? Well, we're about to find out. We've still got 42 laps remaining in this one. Bobby Pierce has been your leader since the drop of the green flag. James at 157 is here. Here comes the 20 RT.
Ricky Thornton Jr. to third. He may not be done yet. He goes to the bottom of Marlar. Out at turn 2, Davenport on the bottom. McCready trying to get it going. McCready's gotten around Moran. Now for the lead off at turn 4. Marlar led early on. Pierce has led ever since. Bobby Pierce still leads into 1. Oh, baby. We're not even halfway, Dustin. That's 6 laps until we do that.
I don't know if we cut it on camera or not, but Tim McCready just went to the outside of Garrett Alberson. He had all 4 tires off the front straightaway as he came by. He's going to clear Alberson now down in turns 3 and 4. And that means you've got Thornton 3rd, Davenport 4th, McCready 5th, and Moran 7th in the championship 4.
3 wide. 3 wide out of 2. Moran, Alberson, and McCready. Meanwhile, Marlar back to the outside. Pierce has held a steady pace. It'll be a while. They're a half a lap behind the tail end of the field. Into 1. Boy, Mikey Marlar keeps trying that time. Meanwhile, they're side by side for 3rd. Down the back straightaway, Thornton and Davenport. Battle for the lead into 3, Dustin.
Marlar gets that run on the high side. Is this the lap that it propels him to the lead? It is not. So he'll duck low down in turns 1 and 2. A slide job by Mike Marlar for the lead. We've momentarily got a new leader, James. It's not official till they get to the scoring loop.
Be the second time this race he led. Pierce races him hard into 4. Down the straightaway. Back out in front is Mikey Marlar. Oh, baby.
It's like a second home to him. He ran so much up this way 20 years ago, James, in the Battle of Bluegrass days. Did you hear the ovation? They haven't forgotten. These fans still love Mike Marlar here at Brownstown.
Down the main straightaway, Pierce is 2nd, Thornton 3rd, Davenport 4th, McCready, Moran, Alberson, Troutman, Blair is 9th, Dennis Erb Jr. is 10th. Thornton there taking a shot on Pierce. Here comes RTJ to the bottom in the Kohler Motorsports car as the Skyline Motorsports car leads at the halfway mark of the 45th Jackson 100.
50 laps in the books, 50 laps to go, and we have got a dandy brewing here in Brownstown, Indiana. Top 3 right there together. Mike Marlar, Bobby Pearson. Here comes RTJ.
Man, oh man, take a breath, DJ. We're side by side behind them. Davenport and McCready. Top 3 into 3. McCready to the outside of Davenport. And Tim McCready looks like he's going to go to 4th in that Rocket 1 off of turn 4. Again, it becomes official at the line. Down the straightaway, he's got it. McCready, one of the fastest cars on the track in that Valvoline number 1. Meanwhile, Thornton has climbed to 2nd. Ricky Thornton Jr. has gotten around Bobby Pierce out of turn 4, DJ.
Indeed, he has. The winner of this event 1 year ago and the winner here 1 night ago, Ricky Thornton Jr. He was ahead of Bobby Pierce that last time by at the scoring loop. He's 1 full second behind your race leader, Mike Marlar. 47 laps to go. And James, the front of the field, has once again caught up to the back of the field.
Tristan Chamberlain is 2nd, Jackson 100 on the tail end of the field out at turn number 2. Marlar, Thornton, down the back straightaway. Pierce is 3rd. McCready, Davenport. Now it's McCready's time. Well, McCready's got a good hot rod out top there, doesn't he, Dustin? Out of turn number 4 as he closes on Bobby Pierce at turn number 1.
McCready gaining on him. He's on the high side in that Rocket 1. There's the 32 kind of closing back in on the 20 RT. Great camera work here tonight at the Brownstown Speedway. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series putting on a show. 44 laps to go in the Jackson 100. Mike Marlar, 1.2 seconds the advantage for the Winfield, Tennessee driver.
Dustin, the top 6 are all in the same straightaway. Are you kidding me? Down the main straightaway into 1. Mikey Marlar. He'll have to battle the tail end of the field. The race for 2nd. Still is Ricky Thornton Jr. He's trying to reel in. Will we have RTJ things coming up here later on? We still got a long way to go in this race. 57 complete, make it 58 this time around.
Tim McCready remains one of the faster cars on the racetrack in that Rocket 1. There you see him. Jonathan Davenport trying to drive back down underneath the Rocket 1. That's a battle for the 4th spot on your screen. McCready comes into this race 4th in that Big River Steel chase for the championship.
Down the main straightaway into turn number 1 already is Mikey Marlar. Brandon Shepard had a pit for a new tire. Matt Bodnick in front of them. They run 2 wide. Meanwhile, Thornton will gain ground. Thornton now to the bottom. Marlar to the bottom out of turn 4. Thornton through the middle now. Mike Marlar still leads in the Jackson 100.
And he has got heavy lap traffic, as you can see. Ricky Thornton Jr. right there. Oh, man.
And Brendan Smith.
Yes, things got hairy there for a moment. Goodness. 157 back down to the bottom. The 20 RT right there as well, and a nice move by Mike Marlar. He's momentarily got the 17 double S between himself and Ricky Thornton Jr.
Out of turn number 2 to the outside, down the back straightaway. Still third is Pierce, fourth McCready, fifth Davenport, sixth Moran. Tim McCready still trying to make that top work in the 1 for the 3-time Jackson 100 winner.
See the championship 4 graphic there in the upper left-hand side of the screen that shows you where those drivers are running. RTJ second, McCready fourth, Davenport fifth, Moran sixth, with 38 laps to go in the 45th running of the Jackson 100.
They're closing on Bobby Pierce. Here comes McCready, Davenport, Moran. Now Davenport to the bottom. Bobby Pierce in heavy traffic behind Brendan Smith and Ross Robinson. McCready, you run. There you see Moran. So 3 of the 4 in the chase for the championship all together here as they come off of turn 4. Meanwhile, Mikey Marlar still 7/10 of a second out in front of Ricky Thornton Jr. in the race for the lead.
And that lead got up to about 1.2 seconds at one time. Brendan Smith's going to be out of the party in the 17 double S. James, I was going to say that lead got up to 1.2 at one time, and RTJ just keeps chipping away at it, and he's able to do that here in lap traffic. Meanwhile, there's a look. There was a look back there at that battle for third, fourth, and fifth. But James, we bring it back to the front of the field because Ricky Thornton Jr. is there.
Heavy traffic, 2 drivers running side by side in front of your leader, Mike Marlar. Dalton Wilson and Boom Briggs. Thornton all over the rear deck lid of the 157. Will we have our 3rd different leader? Pierce and Marlar have led all the laps so far tonight. Marlar still leads at turn number 1. 67 scored, 33 laps to go.
And Mike Marlar with a nice move over in turns 1 and 2 and continuing down the back straightaway to work by both Dalton Wilson and Boom Briggs, as he's going to slide up in front of Boom. 20 RT will now have to try to dispose of the 99B down in turns 1 and 2. He'll do so. High-speed game of cat and mouse here at Brownstown, James, for the richest Jackson 100 in event history, this time by 31 laps remaining.
Still a little ways for the pickup. The next tail end of the field, it's the 6 of Clay Harris. Thornton out of turn number 2. The advantage that time was still 7/10 of a second. The battle for 3rd, Bobby Pierce in 32. McCready and Davenport, Dustin, off at turn 4. There's the race there for 3rd on back.
And play it again. Bobby Pierce in the 32, able to work by Matt Boatneck and Carson Ferguson in the number 93. So Pierce right now with 1 lap car between himself and Tim McCready. McCready trying to pull away from Jonathan Davenport and Devin Moran. But it's Mike Marlar out front in this one, and James, he still is just unable to shake the 20 RT.
They will pick up the tail end of the field here. In the next lap or 2, there's the battle in the 1. Mike Marlar, the Tennessee veteran. Ricky Thornton Jr., the Chandler, Arizona driver, now living here in the Hoosier state of Indiana. 2 car lengths, the advantage for the 157. Off at turn 4. 27 laps to go in the Jackson 100.
Yeah, in this lead duo, James, as you can see there on your screen, man, they are just about to pick up another gaggle of cars running near the tail end of this field, and there's going to be some good cars to go 1 lap down in this next batch. It includes Clay Harris, Nick Hoffman, Adam Stricker, and Dave Hess. And oh, by the way, they're running right in the same line as your leaders.
Carson Ferguson calls it a 9 in his first Jackson 100. Meanwhile, those top 2, they've got quite a bit of distance. Over 3.5 seconds over Bobby Pierce. There you see Mikey Marlar into turn 1. That Longhorn Clements out at turn 2. 25 laps to go. We're 3/4 of the way done in the richest race ever at Brownstown, Indiana.
Brendan Shepard off the racetrack in the B5, James, as he's going to call it a night in that entry. As we've got 24 laps to go in this one, and this is, I tell you what, it's been fun to watch as they are out there in this. Again, I just said that's the best way to describe it, I think, is a high-speed game of cat and mouse between the 157 of Mike Marlar and the 20 RT of Ricky Thornton Jr. They're still right there nipping at the 6 Clay Harris, who currently runs in the 18th spot.
Marlar trying to keep it down the bottom. Here comes Thornton right on him out of turn 4. Remember, a pass, there's 20 points difference between first and second, right? 200 for the winner, 180 for second. So he can try to gain some more ground. McCready is fourth, Davenport fifth, Moran is sixth. RTJ to the outside, down the straightaway, Dustin. 21 to go.
You got to wonder. You just got to wonder if maybe he's trying to set him up, if he's seeing where these lapped cars are going. But you made a good point. Ricky Thornton Jr. comes into the race with a 20-point lead over Devin Moran, and he would like to add 20 more to it, and he could at least 20 more to it. He can get that if he gets a win. It's 200 points to win a race, 180 for second, 170 for third, 160 for fourth. Then it's 5-point increments all the way back.
Bobby Pierce third. Here comes McCready, Dustin, off of turn 4. 80 laps complete. McCready now, he needs every point he can get because he came in tonight, 145 behind, and I hope for that championship next weekend at Eldora. But up front, two of the drivers that got the loudest applause, well, kinda, hit pre-race ceremonies. 82 laps complete, 18 to go for Mike Marlar.
Just 18 laps left in this one. Now, I'm looking at the lap time, James. It's easy. It might be, might be watching home and people see, well, they're all on the bottom of the racetrack. It's taking rubber. I can tell you it's not. The lap times have not improved. As a matter of fact, they're down about 16.8, 16.6, 16.8
right.
or so out there.
How about this time around, Dustin? Marlar would have led 42 laps. Pierce has led 42 laps.
Oh, my.
16 to go.
Oh, my.
Oh, my, yes. Todd Steel Building's hard charger, Hudson O'Neill. But he's got a long way to go to get his second Jackson 100 win. As you see, Marlar starting to pull away from RTJ, Dustin. 15 circuits to go.
Yeah, and that gap is, again, well, I'll use my air quotes here, ballooned back up to 0.8 of a second. You can see there on the screen, it's only just a couple car lengths, but that's a healthy cushion compared to what it was about 10 laps ago for Mike Marlar, who now drives down to the inside of Dave Hess Jr. trying to work by the 44. As we've got 14 laps to go in this one, and you've got that battle for the lead picking back up again. There's Ricky Thornton Jr. knocking on the back door.
How about Dave Hess Jr.? First, they pop. Hess and Marlar. Oh, here comes Marlar, Thornton through the middle. I was just getting ready to say Dave Hess Jr. has done well. His first time to Brownstown. Thornton is right there. They worked 88 laps, a dozen to go for $50,000. Mike Marlar trying to get away from Dave Hess Jr. into turn 1, DJ. A little exciting there for the Red Horn.
Indeed it did. Now, of course, you got to wonder about potential tire going down as well on the 157 as Ricky Thornton Jr. trying to work his way by the 44. He will clear him down in turns 3 and 4, this time by 11 laps to go. And this lead duo, James, has got 2.2 seconds over the third place car of Bobby Pierce.
Tim McCready fourth, Davenport fifth, and Moran, Alberson, Troutman, Blair, Devin Gilpin, by the way, up to 10th. Fifth track title this year. There you see the race there. Pierce third, McCready fourth. Down the back straightaway, 10 to go. Well, I talked to Mike Marlar earlier. We know the year he's had. It's just been a rough and tumble year for him here in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. But he is one of the most positive persons you could ever talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw last night, he went out and gave Ben Shelton a great big hug after coming out, finishing second place. That team hopefully feeling like maybe they can lift that monkey off their back. 8 laps to go in this one. Lap time still in that mid-16-second range, James. 16.2 for Marlar, 16.4 for Ricky Thornton Jr. compared to the best laps of the race that we saw. Mike Marlar ran a 14.6 a little earlier on tonight.
How about Adam Stricker getting some laps? I don't know if he's ever completed a 100-lap race. As he goes a lap down, Matt Bonick on the outside at 22. Thornton is still there. One little slip up off at turn 4. 6 to go. What's going through Thornton's mind? If you're Marlar, you want to back up a little bit from these lap cars. See what Thornton can do. You think he'll do a bonsai or just stay where he's at? We'll see what happens.
Well, I think Mike Marlar is thinking that if he can get by the next car to go a lap down, the 96 of Tanner English, who currently runs 15th, that he's got a clear racetrack in front of him. That's what Marlar's got on his mind right now, James, with 5 laps left to go. That duo is trying to settle it amongst themselves. They've got over 2.5 seconds on your third place car, Bobby Pierce.
And Dustin, once he gets past Tanner English, if he can, there's nobody there for about another half lap or so. Marlar, the advantage about 4 to 5 car lengths down the back straightaway. 3 to go. This place will erupt. They love Mikey Marlar at Brownstown, Indiana. Dustin, 3 laps to go.
We heard it during driver intros, the 157 of Mike Marlar. James, he's made this race 12 times. Tonight was number 13. He was the runner-up back in 2015. He has never won the Jackson 100. He's also not driving away from Ricky Thornton Jr., James. Just a few car lengths separate those drivers. They're coming around this time by to 2 laps to go.
The Barron's performance, 1 lap to go. The white flag for Mike Marlar, the driver out of Winfield, Tennessee. He's driven dirt late models for what, over 20 years down the back straightaway. One of the biggest wins of his career. Off a turn for Thornton, 1 last effort, but it's going to be Mikey Marlar wins the Jackson 100 here tonight.
Ricky Thornton Jr. finishes second, Bobby Pierce third, Tim McCready will finish fourth, Jonathan Davenport fifth, and Devin Moran sixth unofficially here this evening. Troutman seventh, Garrett Alberson seventh, then Troutman eighth, Max Blair ninth, and Devin Gilpin will unofficially round out the top 10 here this evening in a Jackson 100, James, that saw just 1 caution flag fly in the 100 lapper.
Now a bit of business, UNO8 scales. It's a pound per lap burn off in the main event only, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Normally they have to weigh 2350 minimum, so tonight they can weigh 2250. They'll check the droop, they'll check the tires. Is this going to be popular or what?
Oh, absolutely.
We tell that in the drivers' introductions as the cars make their way to the scales, the top 5. Ben will interview them down here. So right now on the Big River Steel podium, Marlar, Thornton, and Pierce. And McCready got it. McCready got 4th, right?
He did. So Ricky Thornton Jr., if these results hold up, he is going to go to Eldora, the points leader. And he came in with a 20-point cushion tonight. I'll have to do a little bit of math in my head. He may have a 10, 20. He may have a right around a 45 to 50 point lead heading into Eldora. That's a very, very rough and off the record right now.
What about it, Brownstown? Mikey Marlar. Almost official. It's almost official.
How many James Essex t-shirts did you sign this week?
I don't know, but I'm going to sign a Mike Marlar one. Stacy, I know, is happy. The crew. Man, as we said, he said, and I talked to him earlier today, he's not down and out. I mean, you tuck your tail between your legs after the year he's had, right, and just give up. But no, they didn't run the World 100. They took the weekend off, got the car ready for Knoxville, and they have come here, and they're going to try to win their first crown jewel at Eldora next week.
I mean, and you talk about Mike got a concussion at Port Royal. The hauler caught on fire the week they took off the World 100. They were going to test at Wartburg, and the hauler caught on fire. It has been unbelievably bad. But, yeah, as long as he clears the UNOH scales, this is going to be a highly popular win here tonight, guys.
But isn't he just, he don't get down in the dumps.
No.
It's easily do that. I mean, it's just like these rookies, these 5 rookies, they could easily gave up half the season. They're going to run the full tour this year. It is official, ladies and gentlemen. I thought so.
When you can hear the crowd through the headset, you know it is a roar of approval.
How ironic. A driver from Tennessee wins here tonight. Scott Bloomquist had won the most at 7. The Red Horn of Winfield, Tennessee's Mike Marlar. He heads to Brownstown Victory Lane, Ben Shelton. Oh, man.
His 23rd career Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series win. He will become the 33rd different driver in 45 Jackson 100s to be a champion. The East Tennessee racer, and it has been a struggle this year for the driver of the Greg Bruning Skyline Motorsports 157, but there's been no quit in him. This will be his 2nd series win of the year, his first since Golden Isles 2.0, and the crew is down here. Josh Davis, Jerry Sprouse, his wife Stacy, Cody and the gang, they're all down here. And when he gets out of this race car, race fans, let him hear it. How about it for your Jackson 100 champion, Mike Marlar? The confetti matches the race car. He throws the hat, the V1 feature winner hat in Lucas Oil victory lane. Mike Marlar, a big smile on his face, and he has picked up $50,000. Mike, we're going to hug it out again. You gave me a hug for a podium last night. Oh, man. Mike, the season you've had, what are the emotions right now?
They're running high, you know. It's been trying for sure, and I just gotta, you know, I love my guys. They're my family, and it's been rough. I usually don't get that emotional, but man, we've been through it. But just like to thank everybody, Cody, Josh, Stacy, Jerry, Allie, for all the stuff she puts up with, and Greg Bruning. I'm so happy to get him a big win. Man, he's been right through it with us, and it's been tough. And I got a lot of great sponsors. Royal Jones and Bennett Explosives and Craig Lindsay and Longhorn Billstein, just everybody that does all this stuff for us. It's tough, but I'm glad to win one, man. It was a hard-fought battle, and there at the end, it got one lane at the end, so I had it easy there at the end, so I was loving that.
Not many guys this year have watched the 32 go around him and driven back around him. What was the key to you getting back in the lead just before the halfway mark?
Well, honestly, it cleaned up way faster, and I knew it was going to clean up pretty fast, but I thought I was kind of in trouble when it cleaned up there. But I had some good runs, but then we would be in that traffic, and I finally got a little open track, and he was struggling a little bit, so I got by him there, and he's tough to beat, but it's fun racing the guys. I'm getting to be the old guy in the crowd, and them young kids are just, make me better all the time still. So I enjoy racing with Bobby and Ricky and, Devin and Jonathan, everybody, a lot of guys on the tour. It's been a fun year. It ain't had, all the wins we wanted to have, but it's been a fun tour. I love, racing with the Lucas guys. They're awesome. So it's been a fun year for sure.
CJ Rayburn meant the world to you. He was a very integral part of your career getting launched. This place meant a lot to CJ Rayburn. To finally get a Jackson 100 at CJ's house. What does that mean to you?
I was driving down the road yesterday just thinking about how much I missed talking to him. It was so easy to just pick up the phone and just talk to your friend or get some life advice or whatever you wanted, and good race car, whatever it was, And I miss him so much, and it makes me happy to get one here. James, my career, James has come with this late model career with me pretty much where I went, he went, starting off with the Battle of Bluegrass. So James and CJ's place and all these great fans here, it means a lot to come here and win, and it's one I've always wanted to win. And last year I was really good and had that flat. I got to second, and I was on Ricky pretty decent there, and had that flat and let it get away. And these crown jewels mean a lot too, because I'm on the backside of my career, so everyone you don't get is the one you never will get. So it's nice to knock these things out. And I got me a little list there I want to get, and should have won a bunch of them. Just things happen, and it's a tough deal. But I'd like to think if I had a minute here, I'd like to thank Capital Sign, Go Lithium, and Browns, Olson's, Paulson Stussy. I got to give a big shout out to Bill Stein. They do a lot for us, and Swift Springs and Kaiser Wheels, just all the guys. Race Ranch does a lot. Craig Lindsay and Greg and Tyler. Having Tyler for a teammate this year has been fun, and I hope he's at home enjoying this as much as we are here. And I know him and Greg, I think, will be, and Zeb and JD. Zeb is basically the parts guy and the coordinator for two teams, so we've really made it hard on Zeb this year. So to get some results and turn that corner and hopefully get out of the year here with some momentum and not be, going into the winter the way we've been doing, so I know we can do it. I doubt myself, honestly. I know it's not my team. A lot of times, I look around, it's me, I got all the stuff it takes to win. I just ain't executing. And so we finally got us a good one here. I've changed everything, including the steering wheel. I even put a different steering wheel on, so maybe that's it. So didn't hurt nothing. So, but yeah, I just got to thank everybody. It's awesome to win these big races.
Brownstown Speedway, show him some love. Mike Marlar wins the Jackson 100. He is atop the Big River Steel podium, second on the Big River Steel podium here tonight, and he will leave. Here's the Midwest Sheet Metal point leader. Ricky Thornton Jr., I know you came to defend that title. I know you came to win, but if I told you at the beginning of the weekend you would leave here the points leader by roughly 45 points, would you have signed up for that?
Oh, heck yeah, I would have. I don't know, really good weekend for us. Obviously, you want to win. Congrats to Mikey. He's been really good this weekend, too. So it carry a little momentum into Eldora next week. I feel like not that we've turned our program around, but I think we got a little more balance that we've been looking for. So hopefully we can keep the speed going. I got to thank Chris, DJ, Ricky, my wife up there running the trailer, all the fans for coming out. It's been an awesome weekend for us. Coltman Farms, Capital Waste, Ultimate Towing, Midwest Sheet Metal, Earnhardt Technology. There's so many people that help us get up and down the road. Bill Stein Shocks, Longhorn Chassis, Hoker Trucking. I got to thank all them for letting me do this, and happy with my weekend.
You were notching away there at Mike Marlar, and then it went to the bottom. Anything else you wish you maybe would have done sooner, or did you show every card you had?
I guess probably the only thing is I should have got up on the wheel in qualifying and qualified a little bit better. But no, other than that, I felt like we ran the best race that we could have ran there without. There's a couple shots I could have ran Mikey over for the lead, but I know he wouldn't race me that way. So we'll settle for second. Like I said, we're happy with our weekend. We gained a little bit of points. So looking forward to this momentum going into Eldora, and hopefully we see everybody out there.
Ricky Thornton Jr. comes home in position number 2. Rounding out the Big River Steel podium here tonight will be the driver of car 32. Bobby Pierce, I know me, I think a lot of people thought when you got to the lead, this one's over, but it didn't go that way tonight. What did you need to be on top of the Big River Steel podium?
I don't know, just we got to get better on the long runs here. I'd really like to race a race here where it's got some character on the racetrack, maybe a top, maybe a cushion, something. It's pretty darn boring. I mean, we ran 100 laps just barely on the gas. You know, me and Marlar had a good race there for a little bit, and Ricky caught Marlar in the rubber, but besides that, it was kind of a snoozer. But maybe they'll learn, get better in the future. We'll keep coming back, supporting this place. We love that it's a great facility, great racetrack right here in Indiana. Just got to get a little more character so we can race around, you know. We're just loose, and not a whole lot we could do when we fell back to third. We were just kind of hanging on, but I got to give a huge thanks to my guys for all their hard work. All these fans coming out, everyone watching on Flow, and all my sponsors to help us out. Can't do it without them. Rio Grande Waste Services, huge shout out to Larry. Hope you're doing better. Low Voltage Solutions, Hoker Trucking, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Churchill Transport, Carnegie Towing, Auto Repair, Ted Brown, Collins Brothers Towing. What else we got? Fast One Speed Shop. Just everyone helps me out. Huge thank you.
Bobby Pierce, he rounds out your Big River Steel podium. James DJ, a first-time Jackson 100 winner, and Mike Marlar here tonight.
Absolutely, becomes the 33rd winner of this prestigious event. James, let's go ahead and take a look at the Lucas Oil race recap and see how we got to the 157 sitting in victory lane.
Willie took the lead at the start of the race and looked good, did Mike Marlar. As he gets around Garrett Alberson there, Bobby Pierce took the lead. By the way, Marlar led 58 of the 100 laps. Bobby Pierce led the other 42. There's the race for the lead right there.
And Pierce crossover. Put that 32 car out front where he would stay there for quite a while until the 157 of Mike Marlar. James was able to work his way back around him right there on the outside.
It was highly entertaining for a long, long time. Thornton get it going here in the 20 RT. As he will get around Pierce. Creedy had a good run late in the race, so did Davenport, but Mikey Marlar gets $50,000 to win here tonight at Brownstown, Indiana. Congratulations.
The richest race in the history of this historic racetrack. Look at that smile on Mike Marlar's face as he and that team needed that one here this evening. Ben Shelton, you brought us everything from your vantage point all weekend long. And as we have got one race left in this Big River Steel chase for the championships, what are your thoughts after tonight's action here at Brownstown?
Well, first and foremost, a very popular win with Mike Marlar picking up the $50,000 win. And DJ, as you said, the 33rd different winner of this event. But the question is, what time does the last train leave for Eldora? Because we're going to crown a champion here a week from tonight. And we've got $200,000, the reason you want to be that champion. And Ricky Thornton Jr., don't call it a revival, but he leads the Midwest Sheet Metal point leader. Guys, so much fun. One round of racing to go. Can't wait to get to Eldora.
James, it's going to happen next weekend. We're going to crown a champion with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
And it could be a $300,000 champion, right? Because the race pays $100,000 to win. We invite everybody out to Eldora Speedway next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with the Carl Shorts Dirt Track World Championship at Tony Stewart's Eldora Speedway, DJ.
Absolutely. Well, first things first, we had to crown a Jackson 100 champion here tonight at the Brownstown Speedway, and we did that with the Winfield Warrior Mike Marlar. A massive crowd here at the Jackson County Fairgrounds took in the action on an event that was supposed to be held a couple weeks ago, but instead they got it in here tonight. Keep up with all the action with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at lucasdirt.com. And that wraps up the MAV TV recording of the program. Again, that'll be on here in just a little over a week. Next up will be the 20-lap main event for the Pure Stocks before they make their way out. We're going to go ahead and step aside for a quick set of commercial breaks. When we come back, Dustin George will be on the call